far in breaststroke, you may have gotten a little bit of propulsion, not much because there's not that much propulsion available in the pool, but what you've done is get the arm stuck back here. So in breaststroke, we want to start with a small pull, then allow ourselves to figure out how much further we should go back. So quarter pull is a standard. When I ran swim camps at Auburn for years, quarter pull is what we did everybody to begin to make corrections on strokes. So this is a standard drill for everybody to do, even the best breaststrokers. So quarter pull is basically exactly what it says. If your normal pull is this, you do 1/4 the portion of that, not 1/2. I'm talking about 1/4. Okay, you still get the elbows up if you can. If you have to, just swirl the hands. But it needs to be very small and out in front to teach you to be disciplined, to keep the hands away, develop that new nervous system feel that then you can take into the whole stroke. We're going to start with flutter kick and then go to breaststroke kick. While you're doing flutter kick, it's a little bit easier because it's more of a, takes away the breaststroke element. Bring the breaststroke in, that's a lot of times when people start pulling back too far. We want to keep the quarter pull exactly where it was when you were doing flutter kick. Let's start with flutter kick. Small little pull up in front. That's a pretty efficient pull right there. It's pretty fast right there. We don't need to pull a lot in breaststroke. There's not that much propulsion available during the pull cycle. Okay, Micah's now done it with a flutter kick. Now she's going to do it with the breaststroke kick and keep the quarter pull true and small. Snorkel on allows her to stay focused on just this piece of the stroke. We'll take the snorkel off. Now, again, it'll get more challenging because it'll be more like a natural breaststroke, and she'll want to pull back further to help get herself up. So start with a snorkel and then go to a whole pull. Quarter pull with the whole stroke now with no snorkel. Keeping the hands out in front allows her to utilize that nice strong kick. She still has a great body line as she extends forward. That's what we're looking for in quarter pull. Keep those hands in front of you. Your eyes should see them the whole time. They shouldn't disappear to your sides. This is really good for Micah because she's a great kicker. And any kind of big pull or getting stuck back here is going to neutralize the efficiency of that kick and not allow her to get all that out of that kick. So quarter pull is good for everybody, but especially for those who kick really well. Little pull, and she kicks into her line, very nice. You can see on Micah's Olympic paddles that she has kept both straps on, and that's really good for most of her training. But if you're really efficient breaststroker and you understand the pressures in the water, you really should be able to swim breaststroke with your hand on a paddle without putting the strap on at all. Okay, she's gonna show you how it's done right now. It's basically, as you go out, you keep pressure the whole time as you come through, and so she never lets pressure off of the paddle. This is just a good reminder that all the time you're feeling the edges of the water. So she's gonna go a strapless paddle pull. And no straps are on her hands. She's gonna keep the pressure. Only takes a slight little angle to keep pressure on the paddle. There's no sticky stuff on her hands or anything like this. This is not a Houdini magic trick. This is just using the pressure of the water efficiently. One of the things we want to keep doing is working on finding new ways to get more of a breaststroker's torso out of the water. So I'm challenging her right now to swim breaststroke to keep as much of her torso out of the water as possible while she's actually moving forward doing breaststroke. This is just to get her whole body position maybe a little bit higher and her to get used to how to create that and cause that to happen. High as you can. Stay high. Good. Stay high. Good. Good. See her whole back's up out of the water. Good. Stay up high, stay up high. Any good swimmer learns from mentors, and certainly Nort Thornton's one of my mentors. He did a drill at Cal with breaststrokers where he'd have them hold a ping pong ball, and they'd hold it with the first 2 fingers, And then they would sensitize the outside two fingers by holding the ping pong ball with the first two. What that does allows a breaststroker to really focus in on the outside half of the hand. And swimming breaststroke with that ping pong ball in there helps you to get that feel. So let's watch Micah give it a try. Now, while holding the ping pong ball, she's just going to work on feeling her stroke a little bit. And she's certainly going to feel the outside edge of her stroke. Nort found great success with working with swimmers in the ping pong balls. Now she's swimming breaststroke with the ping pong balls. And again, just sensitizing the outside edge of her hand. A good drill for working on keeping the blades down. And what I mean by the blade is the whole blade here, okay? Not the wrist movement from the elbow all the way down to the fingertips. So when you turn in breaststroke, you want to keep that blade together and connected. If you pull breaststroke with your body in line and just lock out the body, point the toes, you pull breaststroke here above your head, it can remind you to really dig those blades down. Pushes off, she creates that line, just pulls that line. Ideally, when you get to where you can do that really well, really fast. A lot of the drills we do are to actually force the athletes to move out of their comfort zone in their stroke. This drill, opposite foot drill, is one of those drills. So we're going to take the left hand and the right foot, we're going to take it out of the equation for breaststroke and only use the left leg and right hand, then we'll switch with the other lap. So she's going to take her left hand, grab the back foot, can't do it very well, and then swim like that. And just try to swim as efficiently as she can with only one leg and one foot and the body to connect them. She leaves the wall, she grabs that foot, and she already feels a little awkward, but she's going to try to swim the most normal breaststroke she can. You can see she's able to kind of swim pretty efficiently with that, but not real fast. And you can see she's really pulling well at the top catch there, trying to get everything she can out of that pull. And we try the other foot. Again, she's trying to swim the most normal breaststroke she can while taking the right arm and the left leg out of the equation. Fun thing to do with the age groupers too. This drill here is meant to work on opposites. So we're going to take the stroke, we're going to have her go as high as she can to get the hip position as high as she can to bring the chest out, to kind of cause her to feel like she's elevated out of the water. Once she does 3 strokes really high, then she's going to dive into her ideal line and hit 3 strokes long. Stay high, high, and dive into it. Nice. 3 strokes long now. High, 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 and then dive in. All right, 3 strokes going to start really high and controlled. And then she dives down into her stroke. There, 1, 2, stay high, high, dive down. Very good. Okay, 2 kicks, 1 pull drill. It could be 3 kicks, but 2 kicks is a standard. We get 2 full kicks to every 1 pull. Good way to emphasize, obviously, the legs. Just be sure when you kick, you take full kicks, even on the stroke where you're not going to pull. As she does 2 kicks, she's really emphasizing the power forward. Right here, that kick is actually stronger than the kick when she has to kind of settle back down. So she actually, by doing the 2 kicks, the kick where she can stay in line is teaching her a more preferable style of kicking. Okay, the accordion drill is a timing drill. So what we're working on here is recovering the heels and the hands at the same time and then pushing them out together in a long line. A snorkel will work better with this. One more tip for this is, as you master this, then work on shooting the hands first and finishing with the feet. First, we're just going to work on doing it together as we do the first lap. Punching forward. Right along the surface. Recover the heels and head in at the same time. Again, the accordion drill, she's staying on the surface and working on the timing of the stroke. Recover and kick at the same time. Hit the glide out in front. Nice breaststroke glide as she goes through it. punching it together. Hey, just for fun, go now lead, shoot the hands first and then kick the end of the extension. Okay, a little more race application here. She's gonna kick the end of her extension. So you're gonna start the hands and then bring the kick in. Shoot the hands, then bring the feet. There we go. Shoot the hands, then bring the feet. That's what's actually gonna happen in breaststroke a little bit more on the true timing. A little variation of this we're going to challenge Micah with is to kick flat, add an accordion in the middle, and then do a full stroke. And repeat that cycle. Kicking, accordion, then a full stroke. Kick, accordion, then a full stroke. You can see as she's doing that on that drill that the stroke that she's staying flat with on the kick and the accordion, she's actually traveling a little bit further. Keep in mind, breaststrokers, when you begin to come up out of the water, there's a cost of forward motion to that. So when you're coming up, you don't want to be up very long. You want to get over that and get through so you're back into your line. When I'm out coaching various places, I'm picking up different ideas from other swimmers, and in this case, other countries. Daniel Gitta from Hungary was doing a drill during his training camp that I picked up right away. Once we tried it, it looked a little strange at first, but once we tried it, we saw the value in it. Here's what you do for what we call the Hungarian drill, which is first of all a buoy between the legs to keep the knees narrow. Secondly, paddles that put a little more pressure on the outside of the stroke. So when you're swimming breaststroke, you're actually able to get a little bit more of the arms, a little more arm emphasis. Then the real trick is this strap around the ankles. And so trying to kick as well as you can with a buoy and a strap around the ankles, getting a little extra power from the paddles. Let's watch the Hungarian drill. Here's the Hungarian drill. You can see what's really shocking is that Micah swims almost as fast with this equipment on as she does with no equipment on. Really efficient when she keeps those knees straight because she's grabbing a lot of water with her feet and she's actually getting a little advantage from the arms. Really good breaststrokers can do this drill. It makes it look like the regular breaststroke. She's still able to get a lot of propulsion out of her legs even with a super narrow kick. And she's getting that little extra pull, which is helping her more than normal. We can do a training drill now where we're trying to get her to maximize the speed she's using with highest efficiency. So I'm going to time her from the time she pushes off the wall until the 4th cross line. Her goal is to get there in 3 underwater strokes. And I like underwater because it keeps her flat and efficient. So how fast she can get there in 3 strokes is what we're looking for. And I'm going to stand at the 4th line and just time when her head crosses the line to give her time. 1, 2, 5.6. On that one she was 5.6. You can see she stayed real long. Now she can add a little more pop to it. A little more pop. Ready, go. More aggressive. 1, 2, 3. 5.0. Very good. So what we see there is just that adjustment to become more explosive, more athletic, has helped her to pick up 0.6 of a second and a half a lap of the pool. It's not always about distance per stroke and complete efficiency. You have to add pop to your line in breaststroke. And when you do that, I like teaching it flat and underwater, then bringing it to the surface. You know, it seems like a tradition with the videos that I always have to break out the cone during breaststroke. And it's my best reminder of how we should extend in breaststroke, how when you're coming through this wide catch part of breaststroke, how do you get from here into the most narrow position you can be on the surface of the water? And I always liken it to imagining there's a cone right on the surface. When you're right here, after you finish the powerful pull in here and you begin to close in and get narrow, that you're shooting into just a nice narrow cone. And as you do, your hands get more narrow, your elbows come in, your shoulders get as narrow as they can. So I think it's always a good visual to have the breaststrokers on these videos do this. You can do it as a drill, but this is really more for you to understand as an athlete or a coach kind of what we're looking for in the front extension and narrow extension of breaststroke. So we have our friendly cone here. We're gonna have Micah kick it down the pool a little bit so you get a feel for it. And she's just gonna slip those hands in and straighten them out, put her head in line, and just kick it down the pool. And she does that really well. You can see her back's in line, her head's sort of in the cone a little bit. All kinds of fun training devices around pool decks when we look and get creative. Micah in her breaststroke even has a bit of a challenge in getting a little soft on the elbows in breaststroke. This is a good reminder for her to keep the arms locked out at the extension of breaststroke and surf the hands forward. Excellent. Okay, standard skull is windshield wiper skull, and the key there is that you pretend like you're basically, your front blades here are the front of the windshield. So your elbows stay up front, hands and blades stay down. You don't bend the wrist here, you just keep this in line. Okay, here, and you slightly turn out and slightly turn in, like you're spreading sand on the beach. Okay, here and here, back and forth, elbow, it pivots around the elbow. The elbow doesn't move, it just stays out in front. Going to start with a toe hang drill, then she's going to release and just maintain that body position, and windshield wiper skull halfway down the pool. So as you notice here, she's taking her toes, they're hooked up in the gutter, and she's just sculling against some resistance. When you scull against resistance, you just feel it a little bit more. And then she's releasing, maintaining the body position, changing angles back and forth. Elongated body, very nice. In swimming, we want to learn how to scull in all kinds of different ways. One of the standard ways is with the V-sit, scrunch skull, skulls like that put you in different positions. Sometimes you can scull backwards like for backstroke, but for breaststroke in particular, you want to have the hands down and doing the V-sit skull like we've talked about with all the sculling drills, keep the elbow up and skull back and forth. So you're going to do scrunch skull first. Blades get down, get those blades down lower, try to emphasize the blades getting down. She's moving forward from the skull back and forth. The knees up makes it a little bit harder. Good. Now V-sit skull is really tough. You keep the legs straight, the water hits you at about the calf length, and you really got to scull hard to keep that position. Hold that pike position. Go. That's good, 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 good. Keep it going, keep it going. It's tough to do. Keep it going, keep it going. Get these forearms in shape. We'll get these forearms nice and worked out. Very good.
Body line is a key element of all the strokes in swimming. Coach Marsh talks about it for all the different strokes, and it's especially important for breaststrokers. To set up body line, we like to start by having the athlete start out of the pool, and in particular against the wall. So what I'm going to have is Micah stand here. She's going to press her back into the wall. She's going to bend her knees slightly, lift her arms up to shoulder height, okay, and actively press her body back into the wall as if she's trying to be a part of the wall herself. Okay? What I'll do is have swimmers hold this for 30 to 40 seconds, and they should start to quiver a little bit as they're trying to press their body into the wall the entire time. The best swimmers can scoot their heels close to the wall. Some swimmers may not need to have their heels away from the wall depending on their flexibility. As Micah's holding her body against the wall, you'll notice there's no space in the small of her back and the wall. This is really important. You want to get as much of your body pressed against the wall as possible at the same time and hold it there. After we've done that position on the wall, we want to take that into a plank here on the ground. This is where the athlete is supporting their body against the force of gravity and trying to hold a very straight position. Now it's really easy just to have athletes start in a plank position, but it's all about the details and make the difference here. And have Micah go ahead and lean forward on her elbows. Okay. She's going to lower her hips and her spine, and she's really good about keeping her entire spine in line. From the top of her head, through her shoulders, down to her hips, she keeps her body all in line. For some athletes, they'll start to round the back right here, and I'll ask them just to slightly pinch right here in order to hold that position. You'll notice Micah does a really good job of keeping her head forward and extended above her shoulders. After we've done the plank on land, we want to take that same position to the water. Before we introduce it with movement, which actually allows the swimmer to stay on the surface much easier, we're going to have her try it in a stationary position with her toes in the gutter, pressing down lightly on a kickboard out in front to keep her balance. She's going to try to go for that same feeling she went for when she was doing a plank up here. We don't want to hold our breath too long, so after about 10 seconds, I'm going to give her a quick tap on the foot. She's working on pressing down and holding her core rigid and solid throughout the entire time she's underwater. All right, that's good. The next part of this series we're going to have Micah put the board underneath her stomach to help keep her weights at the surface of the water, keep her back out of the water. She's going to try to swim downhill very slowly and very lightly, just paying attention to how her body is floating in the water and traveling downhill. Very nice. You notice how the small of her back is right at the surface of the water. This is a feeling we want breaststrokers to have as they're swimming through the water. All right. After you see athletes starting to self-correct themselves in the water to get to that proper body line while using some flotation to help them, now we can take that flotation away and allow them to try to achieve that same body line by just kicking their hands out in front. It really helps to have a snorkel for this drill so they don't have to lift their head and get out of line. Micah's got a great body line. You can really see it well when she does this drill here. And notice once again, her small of her back is at the surface of the water, her head is down, and I'm willing to bet she feels like she's swimming straight downhill.
Yeah, a lot of variations with a stretch cord we can do. What I like most about it is the angle for breaststrokers you can establish. I like the seesaw effect of having the cord in the middle, and then you press down and release, press down and release. On this one drill, she's just gonna do one stroke and come back to the wall. And actually, as she glides back to the wall, it requires some coordination and some understanding of how to manage her aquatic line to come back and be reset for the next stroke. So I'm just gonna hold it right here, and she's gonna do one stroke at a time for about 4 strokes, Micah. Okay? So my angle here holding her up is keeping her hips up a little bit higher than she naturally would. Then she's holding her aquatic line going back to the wall, ready to push off right away.